As you can tell from the title of this book, Claudia is a middle school dropout. Middle school dropout. No graduation day for you. Middle school dropout. Middle school dropout. Miss your midterms and flunk math too.
Argo Funk Book Review. Argo Funk Book Review.
This book was written by your mom. Claudia has a bad day at school. Her prom date, Trevor Sanborn, has decided he'd rather go with Erica Bloomberg. Math teacher Mr. Zismore takes 10 points off of Claudia's test for spelling his name incorrectly. Worst of all, Cookie Mason makes fun of Claudia's glow-in-the-dark pink and brown striped hoop skirt. Claudia decides, screw this, I'm dropping out of school. She takes her cafeteria lunch, dumps it on the principal's head, then marches out the door. She spends the rest of the day at home, watching MTV and eating junk food. Claudia's parents are mad when they get home. How can Claudia go to college in 4 years if she doesn't have a middle school education? Claudia says she doesn't want to go to college. Janine gets excited because she thinks she can go to college twice, once for herself and once for Claudia. Mom and Dad say, fine, if Claudia won't go to school, then she's going to have to get a job and pay rent. Obviously, they don't care that she's only 13 and can't legally get a job. Claudia worries about finding a job until she remembers the Babysitters Club makes $69,000 a year. She declares she's going to become a full-time babysitter. Gee, I thought she was going to become a professional artist. Stacy's boyfriend Ethan works at an art gallery, right? He could help Claude get one of her paintings shown in New York. The Babysitters Club meeting that night is 4 chapters long. There's one chapter which recaps who the club members are, one chapter to recap the history of the Babysitters Club, and one chapter where the girls discuss their favorite flavors of baby food. Stacy wants to make a mashed pea smoothie, while Abby says boiled corn pancakes would be an amazing dinner. Marianne even calls Dawn in California to ask about organic baby food. Finally, Claudia tells the other girls she dropped out of middle school. Shouldn't they already know this? They were there when she dumped her lunch on the principal's head. Kristy warns Claudia she can't expect to get more babysitting jobs. The club rules clearly state all the members have to share jobs, even if that means Claudia gets kicked out of her house. Rules are rules, and they can never be broken. In the babysitting subplot, Karen Brewer yells at Jackie Radowski during softball practice when he accidentally throws his bat halfway across the field. Jackie challenges Karen to a fight, and all the kids make bets about who's gonna win. Kristy and Abby are the team coaches, so they put a stop to the fight. Abby jokes that Karen couldn't hope to beat up a kid who's older than her. Kristy gets mad on Karen's behalf, and soon enough, the fight is back on. Kristy teaches Karen how to do different punches, like the 1-2 and the 2-2. Karen gets in trouble when she practices her fighting moves at school. Claudia's second day as a middle school dropout is rather boring. Most of the kids in town go to school, so their parents don't need babysitters in the mornings. Claudia thinks about passing out business cards at the local baby playtime group, but she doesn't have any business cards, and besides, she's not quite sure how to spell the word baby. Claudia decides, aha, she can put an ad for her babysitting in the school newspaper. She goes to the newspaper office, where Emily Bernstein says, no, Claudia can't write for the middle school newspaper if she doesn't go to middle school. Besides, Claudia hasn't written anything for the newspaper since book 71, which was 3 years ago. Claudia has long since been fired from the newspaper staff. Claudia gets mad and decides to start her own newspaper, but she gives up when she doesn't remember how to spell news or paper. Abby tries to put Jackie through a severe training regimen where he only eats eggs and jogs 5 miles a day. She shows up at his house at 4 a.m. in the morning to help him get a head start on the exercise. Jackie's parents call the police, and Abby spends a few days in jail until her twin sister Anna visits her. They do a twin swap so Abby can get out of jail in time for the fight between Jackie and Karen. Claudia watches her cousin Lynn, and she is like, baby, 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 oh, baby, 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 oh. The great babysitting job is ruined when Janine arrives. Aunt Peaches reluctantly admits she asked Janine to replace Claudia as their permanent babysitter. Peaches and Russ don't feel safe putting their baby in the hands of a middle school dropout like Claudia. Janine makes a snide comment about Claudia's abysmal math grades.
How can you watch an infant if you don't know the slope-intercept formula or the quadratic equation? Answer, you can't.
Claudia worries her other babysitting clients will choose Janine over her, so she pays Janine's ex-boyfriend Jerry to take Janine out on a date. Jerry says if Claudia gives him $3,000, he'll propose to her. I really hope that's a joke, not a serious offer. Claudia says maybe next year. Now that Janine and Jerry are a couple again, Janine doesn't have time for babysitting. She gives both of her sitting jobs to Claudia. Now Claudia's back in business. 50 people show up to watch the fight between Karen and Jackie, only they don't fight. They decide they'd rather be friends. Abby and Kristy start yelling at each other, and they start fighting. Abby only lands one punch before Kristy picks her up and throws her into a thorn bush, yelling, "Don't screw with the president of the Babysitters Club." Claudia's parents lay down an ultimatum. She has to pay $600 in rent by Friday, or she has to go back to school. Claudia knows she has $700, so she should be fine, but she stops by a video store and she buys a copy of 101 Dalmatians for $101. Now she only has $5.99, which means she can't afford the rent. Remember Super Special 5 where the girls won the lottery? It happens again. Claudia buys a lottery ticket with lucky numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. She wins $101 million, so she'll never have to worry about working ever again. Nice. She celebrates by buying way more junk food than she can possibly eat. In the final chapter, the ghost of Mimi appears before Claudia in a dream. Mimi talks about following your heart and the importance of forgiveness. Then she hits a large button labeled Reset. When Claudia wakes up, she decides to go back to school. The principal agrees, but as punishment for disrespecting the school's cafeteria lunches, Claudia is sent back to 7th grade. The end. Post-book follow-up. Oh, so that's the reason why Claudia's in 7th grade in the later books. I was confused because I read the Babysitters Club books out of order, and they didn't bother to explain why Claudia was now in a different grade. If only there was a helpful recap chapter, which explains everything for the sake of new readers. There must be thousands of people who started reading this series starting after book 100. This book was okay. I liked the little fight between Claudia and Janine. That was good. It reminded me of book 7. I was surprised that Janine played a bigger role in the story than the babysitters did. I expected Stacy and the others to do something about Claudia dropping out of school. They didn't. They mostly ignored Claudia. Mallory and Jesse didn't even talk in this book. It's like they're not even part of the series anymore. I don't think this book is as serious as it needs to be. Claudia dropped out of school. That should be a huge deal. But the book treats it like an April Fool's Day joke or something. Overall, Claudia may have dropped out of school, but she has not dropped out of my heart. I hope she sees her education all the way through to the end and finally achieves her lifelong dream of graduating from school so she never has to do long division ever again. I give Babysitters Club number 101, Claudia Kishi, Middle School Dropout, a 101 out of 10.